Hello, beautiful ladies and men. I'm sure you saw what was trending over the internet last week, the proposal of Diary of a Naija Girl. Have you watched the video? Oh my God. If you watched the video, I'm sure you had goosebumps like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. I love this. Love is sweet. Love is awesome. I'm sure you had goosebumps. I'm sure you were super excited for her. I'm sure you were teary at some point if you're as emotional as I am. But it was so interesting to watch and I really enjoyed it. And that prompted me to do this video. In short, I've been wanting to do this video, but when I saw that video, I was like, no, I have to do this video. So today I'll be talking about why marrying late is an incredible blessing from God. So if you're single, still searching, you're in your 30s, late 20s, early 40s, or even later than 40s, and you are already giving up on life, you're like, maybe marriage is not for me. I want you to know that marrying late is a blessing and you're not missing out. Just calm down, chill, chill, chill. There's something in it for you, okay? Contrary to what many say, marrying late has its own blessings. And I'm going to talk about that today. I've spoken to people who married early, say in their 20s, early 20s, and many of them say if they had known, they would have waited much longer. And there are several advantages of marrying early, which I'll talk about. But there are also several advantages of marrying late. So the fact that you are not married now does not mean that you are at a disadvantage. I want you to know that there are several blessings that you enjoy from marrying late. And as someone who got married at 28, I know the kind of pressure that I felt because society norm is for a woman to get married at 24, 23, early 20s, or max 25. But I got married at 28 and I knew the kind of pressure that I felt. But I would say it was a blessing because at the age of 24, the level of maturity that I had is not was nothing compared to when I was 28. I was super, super aware of myself. There were so many things that I knew marrying at 28 that I didn't know when I was 24. So it's good to marry early. I'm going to talk about the blessings and the advantages. But if you're marrying late, do not think that you're missing out and there's something wrong with you. No, there is nothing. The most important factor that people consider when talking about marrying early is the fact that it gives you enough time for family planning. So people capitalize on the fact that women who marry early have fewer childbirth issues, pregnancy issues, and family planning, which is a valid point. If you marry at say 24 and you want to have like two or three kids, before you turn 30, you would have had most of the kids, which is good. But marriage is much more than having children. It is a lifelong journey and it involves two people building and planning out their lives together. Also, marrying early gives you the flexibility of knowing how to um, plan yourself together, growing together, learning from your mistakes, adapting to each other, planning for the future. So there are many advantages of marrying early, which I would not ignore. But there is no late time in life. God is the master planner. He's the one who writes our life script. So we should not accord a particular age for marriage. So the fact that society pegs the age for marriage to 25 and you are 30, you're not married, should not make you put pressure on yourself. So I'm going to talk about the advantages of marrying late, the blessings, the many blessings that come from marrying late, which I think is quite beneficial. And I've learned this from my personal experience and from the experiences of people around me. So stay tuned for it. What if God is allowing you to wait because He wants to build your emotional and spiritual maturity? Yes. And that takes me to my first point, which is marrying late is a blessing because it helps you to build emotional and spiritual maturity. I know a lot of people say, oh, marriage is not dependent on age. A 40-year-old person can be a fool, while a 25-year-old person can be wise. Yeah, it's not dependent on age, but there are certain wisdom that comes with age. As you grow older, your experiences are more, and then they shape your understanding, they shape the way you view life. So let's talk about emotional maturity. I'm going to take myself for example. I remember the first few friendships that I had. So I didn't date, I didn't have any serious relationship while I was in school till when I was about leaving. And I remember how demanding I was then. I was looking for attention because I didn't even know what relationship was all about. I was just learning. Like I was like 21, 22, thereabout. And I wanted this person to always be calling me. And this person is also busy, right? Like they have other things that they're doing. But right now, I'm in my early 30s and cannot, if I were not married and I'm in a relationship, I would not expect the person to be calling me 24/7. It's just common sense. This person has their own life to live, so they can't be calling you every time. So I've grown like so the relationships that I was in while I was younger helped me, taught me a lot of things about myself that I did not know. And so sometimes too, I feel like, of course, there are exceptions to this, but having just one relationship before marriage sometimes does not help you see the big picture or see know a lot of things. But some people have been successful to have just one relationship and gotten married. But me, the silly relationships that I had taught me so many lessons that helped me to, that formed me, that helped me to have better relationships in life. So I remember then I was like, I didn't have a voice, I didn't have an identity, I didn't know myself. So those relationships at that young age helped me, were just like grooming me for the future. And even my spiritual knowledge, the level of spiritual understanding that I have now, my relationship with God is so much stronger because I have built resilience over time. So I have built that relationship, that koinonia. So when God speaks to me now, I know that it's God that is speaking to me. I remember when I was praying for a spouse earlier on, I think it was my early 2024, 25 or so. I was praying, I was asking God to speak to me. And I remember I, I didn't like get a voice, but I know that God told me that I know I was thinking that maybe God was calling me into this person's life to change the person's life. And it wasn't God speaking to me, it was just my inner voice saying, my mission is to change this person because you do not have the power to change anybody. Of course, you can like influence them into positive action, but it's not you that's going to change them. So God will not call you to be the one to change somebody, but yes, you can be a good influence on other people. So that emotional maturity and spiritual maturity was built over time. So I am so happy that I did not marry when I wanted to marry, because if I had married at that time, oh my god, I would have been a disaster. Like I wouldn't have been the best wife. Of course, there's also the opportunity to grow and learn in marriage, but there's intentionality that comes with it, because when you're young, if you're not patient, if you're not intentional about wanting to make that marriage work, you can make silly mistakes that can end the marriage. But if you marry early and you are intentional, you want to make it work, you do all your best, you can learn on the job. Also, if you marry late, I'm assuming that you are learning along. You're learning also in life. So many things, the mistakes you made, you don't want to repeat them in your next relationship. So marrying late gives you that emotional and spiritual maturity, helps you build your relationship with God. You are more emotionally aware of yourself. You know your worth, you know your likes, you know your dislikes, you know what triggers you. You understand yourself better. And so you can comport yourself in the midst of problems, in the midst of disappointment. You know how to handle a heartbreak. Like you will not just go there and be crying, and you are tougher because you faced a lot of life situations. So marrying late gives you that emotional and spiritual maturity that you may not get when you marry early. Marrying late helps you to make wiser choices. Believe me, as you grow older, your choices will change. Like the things that you want will change. So if you were 16, maybe you'd say, oh, the man I want to marry has to live in a mansion, has to have plenty of money, has to take care of me well. Those things that you watch from Cinderella stories and all of that, has to be so romantic, open the door for me, blah, 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 blah. But as you grow older, you know that such men may not exist. The person that would always be available to open the door for you, have a mansion and all of that, the kind of man that you think you want to marry might not be what you need. And so you know that some things are beyond money. So your expectation will change. You'd be expecting, okay, I want to marry someone who respects me. I want to marry someone who sees value in me. I want to marry someone who's ready to support my dreams. I want to marry somebody who loves me and showers me with love. So your expectations will change as you grow older. So marrying late helps you to make wise choices. You don't just want to marry somebody, oh, he's so tall. Like I remember one of the reasons why I wanted to date one guy was because this guy is tall, and I didn't want to marry a short man. Like as a tall, at least yeah, I'm just considering our children. Like they'll be like 6 feet. So I was looking at height, but that's not everything, right? That's not everything. And you cannot marry somebody just because they are tall or they are fair. Like those are flimsy reasons to marry. So, but as you grow older, you're like, no, your choice will definitely change. So you will not be looking at someone's bank account only. You will consider other things. So you'll be able to make wise choices because you are self-aware. You know your worth. You know where you're going and all of that. So marrying late helps you to make wise choices. And I've spoken to a couple of people, and what they say is that they never knew that what they were looking for was not what they needed. So it was when they got married, they're like, no, this is not me. Because they've not even discovered themselves, right? So you discover yourself as you grow. So if you make a choice based on where you are now, that choice may not be sustainable. But as you grow older, you are making a choice based on where you are going to. You know your future, you've seen that future. So that helps you to make clearer choices. And so that's another advantage of marrying late. Many women who marry later in their life are well established in their careers, have financial wisdom, and have clarity on their God given purpose. So they're not just looking for a husband. They're not just looking for a husband. They're not looking for somebody that will make them happy or smile. They're looking for a partner in purpose. And if you watch that first video, you would see some clear things that the man spoke about. He said, I'm going to help support you. I'm going to help you grow. We're going to build businesses together. So there is clarity of purpose. They know where they're going. They're not confused. They don't just want to sit down at home. They know who they are and where they are headed. So one of the many blessings of marrying late in life is that you are stable in your finance and purpose, stability in your finances and purpose. Now, late is relative. So I'm just using the term late to mean people in their late 20s, not really late 20s, let me just say early 30s and 40s, from 30s above we consider late by society standard. So because late, there is no late time in God. So most times if you are married at that age, you are stable in your finances, in your purpose, you know who you are, you know where you're going, you've established your career, your business, like you're not poor in quotes, like you are well grounded, you're established in something. So you're not looking for somebody to you're not just looking for any help person, you are looking for a partner, like I said earlier. And that's why if you watch my video on help, I'm in love with Mr. Potential, one of the things I mentioned there was the fact that if you are 40 and you're broke, I should ask you what you've been doing all your 30s and your 20s. Those are the seasons where you have to set structures for your future. So if you are married at your late 30s, early 40s, mid 30s, you already have an established career. You are doing well in your chosen career, your chosen field, and you're looking for a partner. So you're already focused, you're not confused. So it's easy to partner with somebody when you already know where you're going. So that's why it's an advantage to marry late. And so don't think that you're missing out, because by the time you guys are starting up, you're not starting from the level that you would have started if you were 20 or 25. You are starting from a higher level. You guys are well established. Let me just say, if you live in Lagos, when you're 25, if you're really good, you'll be earning like 300K. Like if you really have a good job, you're earning like 300K. But by the time you are 30, your income would have been increased to like, by the time you are 30, your income would have increased to like 500K, 1 million. By the time you're 35, let's say 1.5. So you are already well established. If you have a business, you're already doing well, like you have chains of stores, people are already getting to know you, your fame is going home and abroad. So whenever you're starting, in short, your wedding would not just be anyhow wedding, because you both of you would have established yourself. So that's an advantage. So it's not about, and at that stage, you're not talking about let us start poor together so we'll grow together. No, you've already grown. And so that's another beautiful experience because you are well established. So little worry about finances, purpose, having somebody in your corner, because you know that this person has met you in your purpose journey. So if they don't align with your purpose, they don't want to be with you. So you are clear on there is clarity of purpose. So this person already knows who you are. And so they can now decide whether they want to partner with you or not. But If you married earlier and you were not even sure of your purpose, you may discover your purpose in that marriage. And the person's like, no, this is not the woman I married, or this is not the man I married. And the person does not agree with that purpose. And then you start having issues because you never communicated your purpose because you didn't know it. But at that later age, you're already well grounded, and the person is aware and they can make that decision whether they want to stay with you or not. And let us remember the scripture says, two are better than one, for they have a greater reward for their labor. So it is also good to marry because two are better than one. I want you to know that God's timing is always perfect. He's orchestrating every detail of your life, preparing you and your future spouse for each other. So calm down, relax. Now, back to my earlier point where women who marry late feel, oh, they may not be able to have babies and all of that. I want you to know that there is no rule that says you cannot have children even late in life. And it depends on what you believe. You have to confess what you want to see. So if you are in your 30s, your 40s, you don't have a spouse now, and you're feeling like, oh, maybe I might not be able to have children, I've missed out in life. I want you to know that you have to confess what you want. When did Sarah have a baby? Do you know the answer? Sarah had a baby at 90 and Abraham was 100 years old. Yes, that is not what you want, but I want you to know that do not think that because you're not married now, your biological clock is ticking and you may not have a child. No, Sarah was the exception. Not only Sarah, Elizabeth, the mother of John the Baptist, when did she have a child? So do not think that, oh, I'm going to have complications. Maybe I have preeclampsia, maybe I'll have preeclampsia, or maybe I'll have this um, issue with having babies and all of that. What medical science has said. Who is the God that you serve? The God who is the author and the finisher of your faith. The God who created medicine himself, the one who created you, who knows how babies grow in the womb. Not even medical science. God knows how babies grow in the womb. The God who knows all things is the one you are questioning and doubting. Calm down. God's timing is perfect. God's timing is perfect. Do not think that you are making a wrong decision. Do not think that you have missed it in life. Do not think that God has forgotten you. Calm down, relax. Wait for the timing of the Lord. The Bible says, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. So I just want to encourage you if you're in your late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, 40s, you do not have a child, you're not married, and you feel that maybe you may never marry and you want to rush to make a wrong decision, I want you to know that marriage is a lifelong journey. Huh. If you make the wrong decision in marriage, you would regret it for the rest of your life. So don't be in a hurry. Calm down. You've waited this long. Why do you want to throw it in the trash? Calm down. Calm down. I also don't want to be insensitive. I know how you feel during that time of the month. The hormones are rising. Your body is telling you it needs something to come into you. I know how you're burning. I know the sexual urges you're having. And yes, you want a man to be able to feel you, to be able to solve that need. Because God puts those desires in you and they are okay to get to feel that way. But I know that you cannot marry only for sex because one day sex will become unbearable and you'll be crying. You should marry because of everything that you want and you need in a partner. You should marry because you have found the one designed for you. Sex is sweet, sex is lovely. Sex is a good reason to marry, but not the only reason. So calm down. Your body is burning. Maybe you're a virgin. You are a virgin at 40. You're a virgin at 35, and you're like, will I ever find someone to love me the way I want to be loved? And I know how valid your feelings are. I want you to know that God exists and God can answer your prayer. So do not think that you have missed your timing. If you desire to get married, if you prioritize marriage, pray to God. And He will find and send His God given Son for you. You don't have to marry the wrong choice after you have waited this long. You need the right person for you. So keep praying to God. Keep fulfilling purpose. Keep doing what you are doing, and you will find the right person for you. So I was listening to Ibukun Awoshika, and she talked about a lady in her 40s, or maybe I can't remember the age, but she was a well mature lady who wanted to buy a house, and they discouraged her from buying the house. Or say, oh, you're not married and you want to buy a house. No, no, you won't find a husband. She went ahead to buy the house. And guess who she married? The man who was next to her, the man with the mansion next to her, was who found her and married her. So imagine she had not bought the house, would she had met him? So the fact that you're not married does not mean you should not fulfill purpose or do what you like. If you want to get a car, please get the car. If you want to travel, just travel. You might meet your spouse on the plane. So, or in the country that you're visiting. So do not limit yourself, do not limit your dreams, do not limit your achievements just because you have not found the one for you. Ladies, you are complete in Christ. And you don't need a man to complete you. But it is beautiful when you have a companion who loves and cherishes you to do life with. But I want you to live life like you know that you're living your best life. Because God loves you, He cares about you, and He would meet every desire of your heart. To my beautiful sisters, God is writing your story. Your waiting is not in vain. God will bring the right man for you in His own time. So instead of focusing on what you don't have, embrace the season of growth with love, joy, and contentment, and believe God to bring the right man for you in His own time. Thank you for watching. If this video has blessed you, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And if you have any thoughts for me, please put that in the comment section. Thank you for watching. Bye.